together with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. Just me today, as we have 11 games in the NBA. We have 2 games in college basketball, and we have 2 games in the NHL. So we'll be going over all 15 of those games today. But before we get into today's card, before we get into yesterday's recap, quick reminder again. Let me get this up real quick. There we go. The ESB Bracket Challenge. If you guys have not entered already, what are you guys waiting for? We have, I believe, up to 10 people now. And it is free to enter. I'm going to post the link in the chat here. The link is also down in the description below. So there is there is obviously plenty. There is still time. Yeah, plenty of time to get involved with it. The brackets lock tomorrow at the tip-off of the first game. So if you guys have not already, be sure to click the link down below and fill out your bracket. And if you win the bracket challenge, you get a free t-shirt from Earle Sports Bet. So if you guys want to do that, go down to the description down below or into the chat and join the bracket challenge. If it asks you for a password, the password is ESB. So there we go. And then probably tomorrow, I'll show off my bracket because I've still got to finalize a few things with it. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. But we will get into the recap of yesterday. Let me get up yesterday's card. I don't remember yesterday's card too much. Slight down day. Started off really strong and ended poorly. Obviously split out on the Japan game yesterday, but we already went over that on yesterday's show. St. Francis plus 4.5. They cover. Lost the half unit play on the money line. San Diego State spread in money line. I could not have been any more wrong on that game. That was boring. That was just a boring ass game. It was what that was. And then in the NBA had one play, and the Cavaliers lost outright 132-119 against the Clippers. Maybe this is the part of the year where maybe the Cavaliers maybe take their foot off the pedal a little bit after they just had their big winning streak snapped and things along those lines. So maybe that's the case there with the Cavs. Either way, they did not get the job done. NHL started off really strong. Start off 3-0, end up losing the last 2 plays of the night. So 3-2 in the NHL. The Calgary Flames first period was a nice plus 165 winner. Love to see that. They ended up winning outright in that game. A super desperate Rangers team really pushed it towards the Flames, though. Really, really hard resistance for that Flames win, as Daniel Vladar absolutely stood on his head with 12 saves. What? The Rangers got 13 shots on goal yesterday. If that's showing that a team's not that desperate, I don't know what does. So something to keep an eye on there. The Islanders get the job done, and with that Islanders win, it marks the first winner for me on a NHL future. Now, I was going through over my futures today. I've already got 4 that are losers, and they are both involving the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. I had the Rangers over their win total, and to win the Metro, the max amount of points they can get the remainder of the season is 98. I had over 100.5, so that was a loser there. And obviously, they're not going to win the Metro with the Capitals already at 98 points. And with the Capitals already at 98 points, I lost the under 89.5 there. And I lost the Washington to miss the playoffs as well, plus 220. I ended up betting later in the season. My first winner of my futures, though, Pittsburgh loses to the Islanders last night, which now presents the highest amount of possible points for the Pittsburgh Penguins to finish at is 90. I had under 90.5, so the Pittsburgh under point total was a easy winner. I don't know how many more winners I'm projected for, though, because it's kind of rough right now. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. I think Tampa Bay could be decent. If Tampa Bay can win the division, I'll be sitting a little bit better futures-wise. But, yeah. So there you go. First future winner for me there. Pittsburgh under 90.5 points. Gets the job done. Another future we're watching out very, very closely, the St. Louis Blues. They get a 4-1 win over the Nashville Predators last night. A really big win for them. Now, they did not gain on the Canucks because the Canucks did win as well last night. And that was one that we lost with. We lost with the Jets -1. It was a 6-2 Canuck win, which was stunning for me there. And then on the flip side, and then the other game I lost, took a shot at the Utah plus 135. Thought it was a bad spot for the Oilers. God damn, it wasn't. The Oilers took it to the Utah Hockey Club 7-1. So bad loss there. Overall, down 0.75 units yesterday. So not the greatest of days, but not one that I'm going to be losing sleep over. I did not bet the baseball game today. I said I leaned Dodgers, and I did not want to fade Sasaki in Japan because I felt like they gave Sasaki the best possible scenario for an MLB start, for his MLB debut, which is in his home country. And he went 3 innings, gave up, I think, 1 earned run on 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. He walked 5 batters, though. He did not look particularly great, Roki Sasaki. He went under his strikeout total. He went under his outs total. Like, any type of way you wanted to fade Sasaki other than earn runs today and hits, I believe you cashed. So something to keep an eye on there. I do think it's going to take some time for Roki Sasaki to develop. I don't think he's going to be a superstar right off the rip. However, I was not going to fade him in Japan. Because when you looked at it, the Dodgers played that situation perfect to kind of baby Roki Sasaki into the MLB a little bit. That's basically what they did, was being able to get him to pitch in Japan for his first start as a Dodger. So well done by the Dodgers there, babying Roki Sasaki into the MLB with a nice Japan start. That being said, once he gets back to the States, I think that's where he'll start to struggle a little bit there. But 5 walks, that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. If he's going to have that type of trouble walking batters, he might not be the pitcher that people think he's going to be. But we will head over to the chat, and then we will get into today's games. What's good, Nicholas Handy? What is going on? And what's good, Markel? But we will get into the NBA, where we are starting it off here with the Houston Rockets taking on the Orlando Magic. The Rockets are 2-point road favorites with a total of 209.5. Line opened up at a 1.5. It's now a 2. It did get all the way to a 4 at one point. Something to keep in mind as well. Line opened up at a 208. It's now 209.5. Taking a look at the cash flow here. Got to switch off of college basketball and get into the NBA, where we have 67% of tickets, 70% of cash on the Houston Rockets. Lines move slightly towards them, so that all makes sense there. Then we have 81% of tickets, 82% of the cash coming in on the over here as well. Taking a look at the Rockets here. They're coming in, playing some good basketball as of late. They did not cover in their last game. They got all the way up to 17-point favorites against the Sixers. Struggled in the first half, made it all back up in the second half, and they have now won 7 in a row and sit second in the Western Conference. On the flip side, the Orlando Magic are coming in off of that massive win where they won outright as 10-point dogs against the Cleveland Cavaliers to close out their close out their road trip there. So very impressive win. It's their first game back after the road trip, but they've had a few days off. They last played on the 16th. So definitely they are a rested team. I have no interest in this game whatsoever. The Rockets are playing really strong right now. That makes me wonder why this line's only a 2. That's kind of suspicious that this line is as short as it is. Considering this is a Rockets team that is 44 and 25 compared to 32 and 37 for the Orlando Magic, and this line is only a 2.5. A team on a 7-game winning streak. Am I missing something here? Why this line is so short and it's actually making me want the Magic? Let me see if I can get a 3 with the Magic real quick. If I can, I might take Orlando here in this spot. Because I do think this would be a spot where Orlando could cover the 3 in this game. It is 2.5 across the board. I'm very interested in Orlando. Even though I think ultimately what's keeping me off Orlando is their first game back after a road trip, even though they're rested. So I think they're fine there. Is they're coming in off of that big win against the Cleveland Cavaliers in their last game. I want to take a look at one more thing with the standings for Orlando, see if they are really in any type of danger. No, they're 2.5. They are trying to play for the home court advantage, so they do have something to play for. The Rockets are tied with the Nuggets for the 2nd seed, so the Rockets still have something to play for as well, because I think you would rather play the play-in winner of either Minnesota or the Clippers compared to playing the Golden State Warriors in the first round. But still, that Warriors, Timberwolves, and Clippers are also separated by 1 game, so who knows who you're really going to be playing in that matchup there. It's an interesting spot. Not a game I'm going to get involved with, most likely. It's Orlando or pass. We have money coming in on the Rockets. The line's been a little bit weird, and that does make me interested in the Magic in this spot at plus 2.5. I'm going to pull the trigger on. I keep talking about it. I'm going to pull the trigger on the Magic plus 2.5 in this game at minus 110. If you want, you can play the money line plus 120 over on ESPN Bet. I'm seeing 122 on FanDuel. That's not a bad look either. For me, though, I'm just going to take the 2.5 points here. I've been talking about it enough here in this spot. I've talked myself into it. Orlando Magic plus the 2.5 in this game against the Rockets. Supness. What's good, Lex? But we will continue on. The Dallas Mavericks taking on the Indiana Pacers. We have the Pacers as 10.5 point favorites with a total of 234 in this game. Big line here. Obviously, the Mavericks have really fallen off, and the Indiana Pacers are playing for something. This is something where you got to keep in mind motivation now. Line opened up at an 8.5, immediately went to a 9, then to a 10 to a 10.5. So we do move towards the Indiana Pacers. Line opened up 233.5. It's now 234.5. So we move towards the over here. Let's take a look here in this spot. 76% of the tickets, 86% of cash on the Pacers. The line's moving towards them. So everything kind of checks out there. 83% of the tickets and 82% of cash on the over. So no surprise, they're public on the favorite in the over. Generally, that's the way things go. The Indiana Pacers are coming in off of a nice win. They won outright as 10.5 point dogs against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the last game there on the road as they come back home, and they'll have a nice homestand here. They'll play the Minnesota Timberwolves again on the 24th. I will look to back the T-Wolves in that spot most likely. But they also have 2 home games in a row against Brooklyn coming up after this before they get the Minnesota Timberwolves again. On the flip side, the Dallas Mavericks have really struggled, 2-8 straight up, 1-9 ATS in their last 10 games. They're coming in off of a loss as 6.5 point favorites against the Philadelphia 76ers. Should tell you everything you need to know about the Dallas Mavericks right now. Am I laying 10 points in this game, though? No, I'm not. But should the Pacers win and take care of business? Yeah, they've got something they're fighting for, too. They're currently 4th in the Eastern Conference now. Did they really pass the Bucks? Yeah, they passed the Bucks for 4th in the Eastern Conference. They currently lead the Bucks by half a game, the Pistons by 1 game. So very fluid there with the game differential in that for that 4, 5, and 6 seed. So definitely they're going to be motivated to take care of business in this game. They probably do. Laying 10 points, 10.5 is not really something I want to do in this spot, though. So it's an easy pass for me, but it would probably be what do you call it? It'll probably be a lean towards the Pacers in this game, but not what I'm getting involved with. Morning, Nick. What's going on? Lex saying thank you for picks. Thanks Sailor Jerry for the buzz. Thank me for my emotional support. Huh? I'm confused. Elite performance by the Blues. Blues money line, Blues puck line, Blues and reg. Love to see it all. St. Louis heating up at the right time. And I will make the bold call now. If the Blues squeak into the playoffs as the 8th seed, they will eliminate the Winnipeg Jets. They will knock out the Winnipeg Jets if they make it to the playoffs in the 8th seed. They will win the first round before they get Colorado. And Colorado will knock out the Blues after that. Halliburton hitting triple doubles, hitting doubles like Jokic Joker hits triples, yeah. Blues puck line, Washington puck line. There you go. Only disappointment was those bums. Rangers ruined my fun 4-teamer. Washington and reg, St. Louis and reg, Edmonton puck line, Rangers money line. I was on the Flames. First period. I did not expect them to win the full game, though. It was the Blues gained ground in the wild card race, so I faded all the teams they were chasing. Hey, I don't hate that at all. I have that right now. I'm super excited to watch the Blues the rest of the year. They are a team where if they make it into the playoffs, watch out. Bennington's won a cup before. This team has some experience. I love this Blues team. I provide emotional support for people who lose parlays. Okay. I'm on 3 shots of Sailor Jerry, 5 more to get my buzz. There you go. There you go. We'll move on, though. I have a feeling Pacers money line might be a parlay piece for you there, Lex. That would be the way to approach that last game. We'll talk about the Detroit Pistons, though, taking on the Miami Heat. We have the Pistons. They're 4.5, 5-point favorites in this game. It opened up at a 3, immediately went to a 4, immediately went to a 5 within 11 minutes after the opening line. Got all the way up to a 5.5. It's come back down to a 4.5. So we've had some buyback on Miami since the 5.5 number. The line opened up at a 216. It's now 218.5. So we do have a move towards the over here as well. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this spot. Interesting cash flow, 77% of the tickets, 77% of cash is on the Pistons in this game. The line is moving towards the Heat. The line's moved slightly towards the Pistons since the opening line at 3, but that 3 wasn't available for very long. Miami is just not a team I trust right now. Markets is telling me that Miami is live to cover the number. However, do you really want to put your money on a team that has lost 8 games in a row, 9 of their last 10, and have failed to cover in 6 in a row? The answer is a no for me. And on the flip side, the Detroit Pistons, they're coming in off of a nice win, 127-81, a nice little bounce back after losing back-to-back games against OKC and Washington. The Pistons will get the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas in their next game. That'll be on the 21st. The Miami Heat will be staying at home as they start a homestand here. They're coming in off of that 21-point loss against the New York Knicks. That was 2 days ago, so they've had a day off for traveling back. I need to see something out of the Miami Heat before I put my money on them at all. So this is another pretty simple pass here for me. The market's telling me Miami is live in this game. It's Miami or no bet for me. And I get it. The Pistons, here's the thing, though, is the markets say one thing. The Pistons have something to play for, though. They're still fighting for home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Not only making the playoffs, being a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Who had that heading into the year with this Detroit Pistons team? It's enough for me to stay off. Pretty plain and simple there. So it's enough for me to pass on this game and just lean towards the Heat and not bet said Heat. And plus, I need to see it first before I go ahead and try to do anything with Miami. So this is Miami or no bet, but it's no bet for me. Going to run St. Louis back tomorrow, playoff style game against the Canucks off another satisfying home win. Oh, that's a huge game. There's a couple big games tomorrow in the NHL. St. Louis and Vancouver for that last wild card spot. And who would have thought that the Islanders and the Canadiens would be a big matchup too? Dallas, Tampa Bay, that's a fun one. Edmonton and Winnipeg, that's a fun one. Edmonton coming off of a very satisfying win. Winnipeg coming in off of a bad loss. Feeling that's probably a Winnipeg spot there. Fun slate tomorrow. I get to fade the Columbus Blue Jackets again with the Florida Panthers. Yes, please. We can inch closer to cashing the Flyers under point total when they play the Capitals. So there's a few things to look forward to tomorrow. But yeah, probably I'll be on the Blues. LOL, Lex, there you go. Longhorn money line today. Yep, I've already posted up on Twitter. I'm going to post on Twitter betting every single game of March Madness. I am on the Longhorns today. That was a crazy win for NY for the New York Islanders. Pretty funny. The Pens finally choked. Yeah, it's pretty simple. The Islanders love playing Tristan Jarry. It's unreal. They absolutely love him. He's one of my favorite goaltenders in hockey outside of Ilya Sorokin and Semyon Varlamov. Is Tristan Jarry. I love playing against him. He's the best. We'll move on, though. The Minnesota Timberwolves are taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Timberwolves are 13-point favorites with a total of 228. Damn, are these Timberwolves hot right now. They are winners of, 8 in a row? Nope, my bad. I take that back. They had their winning streak snapped against the Indiana Pacers in their last game, 132 to 130. As 10.5-point favorites. Line opened up at a 12. It's now a 13. Line opened up to 28. Still 228. On the flip side, we have the New Orleans Pelicans coming in off of another loss. They've lost now 3 in a row. Failed to cover in all 3 of those. They also have lost 8 of their last 10 and have failed to cover in 8 of their last 10. So a struggling New Orleans Pelicans team. We have 83% ticket or 63% tickets, 81% cash coming in on the T-Wolves. The line is moved towards the T-Wolves. I'm leaning T-Wolves in this game. 13, little much, maybe. 72% tickets, 75% cash on the over here in the spot. It's Minnesota or no bet for me. I'm not going to fade this Minnesota Timberwolves team right now. They're currently 10 games over 500. They're the 7th seed in the West. This Western Conference is absolute gauntlet. That a team 10 games over 500 is currently 7th. If they were in the East, and I know we keep coming back to this, they're what? They are the 4th. They're 4th in the East. It's crazy. The Hawks are leading the Southeast Division 3 games under 500. God, this conference sucks. And meanwhile, the West are going to have teams missing the play-ins that are over 500. So that's kind of crazy there that you can make it into the play-ins 10 games under 500 in the East and miss it completely over 500 in the West. This is Minnesota or no bet. I want to look what the best available lines are. I don't really like laying this at chalk, but Minnesota, they're motivated. New Orleans is not. Do I lay 13 though? Is the question with the T-Wolves. That is a lot of points. I've laid more though. I'm going to back them here in this spot off of a loss their last game. Get back on the wagon here with the T-Wolves, laying 13 in this spot. I do think the T-Wolves are bet on right now rather than bet against. Does that mean that it's going to translate to playoff success? I don't know. This is a Minnesota Timberwolves team that showed that they were able to show up last year during the playoffs. I don't think this is the same T-Wolves team this year, but they are getting hot at the right time. And they would be playing if they made it out of the first playing game, they would be playing potentially the Rockets or a rematch against the Nuggets again. So should be a fun playoffs for them. So for me, T-Wolves minus 13, minus 110 over on Bet365. Can't stand the Wolf Pups. They always seem to find a way to disappoint me. Yeah, I think the disappointment will come in the playoffs like any other Minnesota sports team. That'll just be my lean, though. But we'll move on. We have still a bunch of games in college in NBA to go before we get into the 2 college games and then the 2 NHL games. We have the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs, 8.5-point road favorites of the Knicks, total of 229.5. Take a look at the line history in this game here, where it opened up at a 7.5, immediately went to an 8.5, and it's not moved since. Line opened up 231.5. It's now down to 229, so we even moved towards the under here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow in this spot, where we have 78% of tickets and 74% of cash on the Knicks, and the line's not really moved. 86% of the tickets, 86% of cash on the over here as well. Right off the rip, this is Spurs or no bet for me. Let's take a look. The Spurs are coming in off of that 16-point loss against the LA Lakers. They were 9-point dogs. That was back on March 17th, so just a couple days ago. On the flip side, the New York Knicks, they're coming in off of a very nice win, a 21-point win, and they're at home against the Miami Heat. They were returning off of a 5-game road trip. They played 1 game at home. Oh, yeah, then they get to hit the road again for 2 more games. They play San Antonio, and then they get a back-to-back tomorrow against Charlotte. Maybe that game is the way to fade the Knicks, is to maybe take Charlotte plus the points in that game. But for me in the spot, I mean, this is Spurs or no bet for me, with the public all over the Knicks and the line not moving. The Knicks coming in off of a nice win, but they have to go right back on the road after concluding a 5-game West Coast road trip to head out to Texas. Like, they couldn't have scheduled that game right after that, during that road trip. That's kind of a rough spot here for the Knicks. And then they get a game against the Hornets tomorrow. Granted, the Hornets are not a good team. I'm not saying they are, but they get a game against the Hornets tomorrow, which that could be a bad spot for them as well in the second half of a back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights with travel. So, yeah, I'm going to take +9 here with the San Antonio Spurs in this game. I think this is too many points for the situation that the New York Knicks are in. The public is all over the Knicks with the line moving, or with the line not moving. There's a couple 9s out there, but it's 8.5 across the board mostly. So shop around as always. I'm getting 9 with the Spurs here. I'm going to take a shot with that. Spurs +9 for me. Let's see. What are your numbers for UC Irvine, Samford, and San Francisco? Let's take a look. We have a play on. We have a slight lean towards Irvine at 7.5. We have a lean towards Samford at 8.5. Right, no. We have a lean towards George Mason at -7.5. And then the San Francisco game, we have a lean towards San Francisco at -9.5. Looks like our numbers project value on a bunch of faves today, other than the 2 tournament games. Yeah, it looks like we like Bradley today and Dayton. Bradley and Dayton money lines are probably worth a look there. I'm on American and I'm on Texas as well, so we'll talk about those in a minute. Was looking at the under for the other play in game. Do you have a lean for Mount St. Mary's American? I'm on Mount St. Mary's. I got the Mountaineers at +3 and +125. Wants to take Magic money line, but do they really win 2 games in a row? Enough the home revenge. I did take the Magic +2.5. I think that's a good spot for the Magic there. And I think that line is very, very telling. So we'll move on, though. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. We have the Thunder -11.5, total 226.5 in this one here. Taking a look at the line history, and this one opened up at a 10 and then got up to a 10.5, 11. Now we're seeing 11.5. So we do a decent move towards the Thunder in this game. Line opened up to 28.5. It's now 226.5. So we do a move towards the under here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow, 79% of tickets, 79% of tickets, 86% of the cash on the Thunder. The line's moving towards the Thunder. So we do so the line history makes sense with the way the cash flow is coming in. 85% of tickets, 82% of the cash is on over here as well. So at least the market's showing some support for those who want to back the Thunder. In this one, the Thunder are coming in off 3 straight wins. They've won 9 of the last 10 games. They're 56-13 this year. They're the best team in the Western Conference, and they'll probably be, at the very least, making the Western Conference Finals, I think. On the flip side, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. They're coming in off of a loss, a game they led by, I want to say, 20 or 21 at halftime. That was tied at the end of the third quarter. But they did cover a 17-point dog. So they've been covering a little bit better as of late. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, but they've covered in 4 of their last 5 games. So so all of a sudden there's becoming a little bit of value with the 76ers. Is that enough for me to want to bet this team? No, I've said I'm not touching the 76ers the rest of the season, and I will stick to that. So this game ultimately comes Thunder or no bet, and it's no bet for me. I'm not going to lay 11.5 with the Thunder, with the 76ers team that's covering a little bit better as of late. So for me, it's a pass with a lean towards, I guess, the Thunder, but definitely not one I want to get involved with right now. So it's another pass for me in this one. We'll move on, though. The marquee matchup of the day, the one that everybody wants to talk about, the Utah Jazz taking on the Washington Wizards. The Jazz are 5-point home favorites in this game with a total of 233.5. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. It opened up at a 4. It's now a 5. So we do have a move towards Utah. Line opened up 237. It's down to a 233.5. So we have a move towards the under here as well. It's tough to trust Utah to do literally anything. This is crazy. Wow. We have 51% of tickets, 53% of cash on the Wizards, yet this line's gone from a 4 to a 5. So it's a 50-50 split with slightly more on the Wizards, yet this line's moving towards the Jazz. 78% of tickets, 74% of cash on the over in this one here. The first thought is, how does anybody bet the Jazz in this game? The Jazz have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 consecutive games. 10 games in a row, and they're 5-point favorites in this game. This is either free money on the Washington Wizards or one of the largest traps I've ever seen. Because not only does a team that has lost 10 straight games have to win tonight, they have to win by margin. They have to win by margin. The Jazz win by margin tonight, don't they? Kind of tells you. I think this line tells you everything you need to know. The market's moving towards the Jazz. It's a 50-50 split, so it's not like it's the public on the Jazz. Line's moving towards them. They're favorites of not only favorites, 4.5 is a decent-sized favorite, especially for a team that's lost 10 in a row. 4.5 minus 115. Give me the Jazz laying the points on a 10-game losing streak. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash from this one here, but this is a game not only the Jazz win, but they cover. And I'm going to lay the 4.5 with them here in this spot. I know a lot of people are not going to like that, but here we are. Jazz, 4.5 for me. If it'll click, there we go. Yeah. Toilet bowl game. Still haven't bet my Jazz all year and probably won't even today. Fair. Laurie points and go to bed. Fair. I'll be definitely paying attention to other basketball games at this time. At the time of that game. But we'll move on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more games in the NBA. We have the Chicago Bulls taking on the Phoenix Suns. We have the Suns 6-point favorites, total 235.5 in this game. Line opened up 7.5, immediately went to a 6.5, went back to a 7, then back to a 7.5, down to a 7, 6.5, now 6. So we have a move towards the Chicago Bulls in this game. Looking at the total, line opened up 239, it's down to a 235.5. So we do have a move towards the under here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow in this spot between the Bulls and the Suns, where we have 61% of tickets and 53% of the cash on the Suns, yet this line's moving towards the Bulls. Telling me that the Bulls might be a live dog in this game. 78% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the over here as well. How about them Chicago Bulls, though? They've been playing some pretty good basketball as of late. They have won 4 of their last 5 games. They've covered my bad, 5 of the last 6 games they've covered in 6 in a row. The only game they didn't win in the last 6 was a 3-point loss as 8-point dogs against the Houston Rockets. On the flip side, the Phoenix Suns, they're coming in off of a 30-point win, 40-point win in their last game against the Toronto Raptors. In that last one as 9-point favorites. How are we not on the Chicago Bulls in this spot? One thing to keep in mind, though, and this is kind of interesting to see, it's been pure dominance in this head-to-head matchup from the Phoenix Suns. This is a Phoenix Suns team that is, according to covers, now this doesn't go back past 10 games. They've won at least 10 in a row against the Chicago Bulls team. And in the famous words of the All-American Rejects, it ends tonight. I think the Bulls are very, very live in this game. I'm getting 6.5 minus 115 on ESPN Bet. Sign me up for some Chicago Bulls in this spot. I think everything kind of correlates here for the Bulls to be a very live dog in this game. The public is on the Suns. The line's moving towards the Bulls. The Bulls are playing some damn good basketball as of late. Bulls are on their way to potentially making the playoffs. Definitely the play-ins. And I think they keep it going here tonight. I'm on the Bulls at plus 6.5 in the spot. I think this is a good spot for them. What about front lash? What do you mean? It's the rum talking. All right. 3 games remaining. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Sacramento Kings. How disappointing were the Cavaliers last night? They lose to the LA Clippers there. They are 5-point favorites in this game. It opened up at a 5.5 down to a 5. Line opened up 233.5. It's down to it's up to a 235. So we do move towards the over here as well. We have 78% tickets and 56% of the cash on the Cavaliers. The line's moving slightly towards the Kings. Now, I don't want to load up on plays here, but the markets are kind of telling us stories for tonight. And they're kind of telling us where their allegiances lie in these games. The line moving slightly towards the Kings, but yet the money's coming in on the Cavs. The Kings are coming in off of a nice 10-point win over the Memphis Grizzlies to snap a 4-game losing streak against Phoenix, Golden State, New York, and the Clippers. On the flip side, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have now lost 2 in a row. I don't think the Cavs have lost 3 in a row all year, and I'm not going to bet on the Cavaliers to lose 3 in a row. That's just not something I'm going to do. That's ultimately going to keep me off. Actually, my bad. They have lost 3 in a row. January 22nd, 24th, and 25th against Houston, Philly, Houston. Was that the only time they've lost 3 in a row? Yes. It's the only time they've lost 3 in a row all season long. So this Cleveland Cavaliers team, I am not going to bet them to lose 3 games in a row. It's just simply not something I'm going to do. But the Kings are the only way I'd look in this game. If I had gun to head, if I had to bet anything in this game, give me the points for the Kings. I think that kind of markets do tell you that they're a little bit of a live dog in this game, the Sacramento Kings, the way this line's moving. But is this a game that I need to get involved with? Not really. I've already got a decent amount of NBA action. I'm not trying to load up my card too much, which I've already got. How many plays in the NBA do I already have? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays in the NBA already, and I think I might be looking at one more towards the end of this card here. I'm not sure yet, but damn. So this feels like the Kings are a must bet here, though. It's a pass for me right now. I want to take a little bit deeper look into this game, and potentially I have the Kings a little bit later. Not 100% sure yet. Giddy with joy for the Bulls, doubling on. All right, going back to I'm guessing that's D-Book, double. You were gonna have backlash for okay, gotcha. What about front lash? There you go. Is Mobley out? He is. It says no injuries to report on the side of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Only Sabonis is out for the Kings, according to covers. No way Cavs lose 3 in a row. I must get involved. Fair. How is UAB getting 6 points? Who are they playing? I'm not really. St. Joseph's. We have that at a 5. So I think that line's correct. saying what's up to Aubrey. We have 2 games remaining. The Memphis Grizzlies are at the Portland Trail Blazers. The Grizzlies are 4.5-point favorites, total 236. And this one, taking a look at the line history in this game, line opened up at a 3.5 for Memphis, went up to a 4. It's now a 4.5. Line opened up 235.5. It's now a 236. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game, where we do have 71% of tickets and 73% of cash on the Grizzlies. So the line move towards the Grizzlies does make sense. We have 44% of tickets and 65% of cash on the under in this game as well. Also, sharp money coming in on set under in this spot, which is kind of interesting there. The line has moved slightly towards the air. Taking a look at the matchup, if it'll load for me, my computer is taking a hot minute to do that. We have the Memphis Grizzlies coming in off of that 10-point loss against the Sacramento Kings. So they are coming in off of a loss in their last game. Portland coming in off of back-to-back wins against the powerhouses of Toronto and Washington. So for me in this game, ultimately it's a no play. My lean is Memphis, especially coming in off of that bad loss in that one in their last game. They're now 5th in the Western Conference. They've fallen off a little bit. They would be heading to the Lakers to get the playoffs started if the season were to end today. So that's kind of that would be their first round matchup. For me, ultimately, it's a no play with a small lean towards Memphis, but I don't like the way not everything correlates for me here to back the Memphis Grizzlies in this spot. Maybe it's Memphis early, maybe it's a Memphis first quarter or Memphis first half or something along those lines. But for me, not what I'm going to get involved with, just a lean towards Memphis. Tanking teams cannot get picks from losing more, right? So if Wizards and Portland moneyline, yeah, I mean, you got to also keep in mind that teams don't tank, organizations do. So you got to keep in mind these players are still playing for jobs next year. If you're on a roster, you don't want to lose your roster spot. So that's one thing as well. It's just with the tanking at the end of the year, you got to keep in mind that you got to keep in mind that teams don't tank, organizations do. There we go. Last game on the NBA card. This is a fun one here. The Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are 2-point road favorites with a total of 233. I don't know when LeBron is back because I feel like the Lakers would be favorites in this game if LeBron was playing. This line opened up Lakers minus 2.5. It is now Nuggets minus 2. So actually the line's gone from dog to favorite for the Denver Nuggets in this game, which is kind of interesting there. I want to take a look at what the money lines has done. Because this was a pure just like flip of favorites. Line opened up 231.5. It's now 234. So we do have a move towards the over here as well. Taking a look at just the money line real quick. Line, yeah, it's a complete flip. It opened up even money for the Nuggets. Now it's minus 135. So a complete flip of favorites in this game with 58% of tickets and 58% of cash in the Lakers, and then 57% of tickets and 56% of cash in the money line for the Lakers. So more tickets, more money is coming on the Lakers for both spread and money line, yet this line's gone from dog to favorite. And I wonder why that is. And we have now it looks like Doncic is day-to-day. LeBron's still out. And they're saying scheduled to go through an on-court workout on the 16th and expected to remain out for at least one more week of game action. And that was back on the 15th. So they're expecting him back around the 22nd range. So something to keep an eye on there. I'm going to be on the Nuggets in this game. This market is screaming the Nuggets win this game. Dog to favorite type of spot with more tickets, more money coming in on the Lakers. It's begging for Laker money now with them as dogs. And I can get the Nuggets at minus 130 over on Bet365. Yes, I'm up Denver minus 130 to close out my card here in this spot. I think just the market is telling you everything you need to know about this game. Also, the Nuggets, they're well rested because Jokic did not play last game. Murray did not play last game. Oh, yeah, and they still won. So yeah, give me the Nuggets here in this spot, going back to Denver in this game, as I was on them last game as well. So yeah, Nuggets minus 130 for me. Get better draft picks. I meant to ask that our teams locked into their draft picks. It's a draft lottery. So really all it is is a higher percent chance to get the number one overall pick. It is not you have the worst record, you're guaranteed the number one overall pick. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. Luka double and Luka over 33 points. Fair. I take that back. Luka triple with Jokic in the house. Battle of the Europeans. Luka won't get himself outdone. Fair. But we'll make the transition. We'll head over to the March Madness first four. And we're going to start off with the marquee matchup here. The American Eagles are taking on the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. We have the Eagles around 2.5-point favorites in this game with a total of 129 up. I'm just taking a quick 2 seconds to get up all of the here in this spot, the line history, my projections. Let's start with my projections in this game, because that's the first thing I do have here. I have this game projected at a pick'em. 0.003 was my projected line for this game. So a literal pick'em. Any plus money you can get in this game, I see value on in this spot. This line opened up American minus 1.5. It's now American minus 2.5. So we do have a move towards the Eagles in this game. Line opened up at a 132. It's come down 3 points to the 129 mark. Taking a look at the cash flow, 89% of tickets and 86% of cash on the over. The line moving towards the under. The under is very appealing in this game. We also have 53% of the tickets and 55% of cash on American. The line's moving towards them. In this spot, we have Mount St. Mary's, who finished 22-12 this year. They finished 6th in the MAAC, and going through their tournament, they played 3 games in 3 days. They took care of Marist 62-58. Then they won by 2 points against Merrimack 57-55, and then they closed it out with a 14-point win over Iona. On the flip side, the American Eagles played their tournaments. Theirs were in the Patriot League, where they won in the championship against Navy 74-52. They also knocked off Colgate and Lafayette. And they finished 2nd in the Patriot League, 22-12 as well. So exact same records as well here. I think this is a well-selected matchup because of how balanced these two teams are. And when we have a literal pick'em, I have this game projected at a literal pick'em. 0.00 is my power ranking on this game. Yeah, I'm going to take a shot with the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers getting 3 points in this game. I got +3, and I got a half unit on the +125 money line in this spot. Yes, I've been on all the dogs so far in the bracket. That will change in the next. That will change tomorrow when we have round 1 matchups going. This matchup, they will play. The winner of this game will go on to play the Duke Blue Devils in the first round, which I do believe they're going to get dismantled. But with that being said, I am on the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers +3 and +125 against the American Eagles. Let's see. Triple. Wow. Jokic triple-double is plus money? Wow. Those lines will definitely go down later in the day, probably. Lakers should win outright. Should they? I do think the Nuggets are still the better overall team. Let's move on. The second matchup here in the tournament games tonight, we have the Xavier Musketeers taking on the Texas Longhorns. It's a 3 for this game, total of 151 in this spot. We have this line opening at 1.5 for Xavier. It's up to a 3 now. So we do have a move towards the Musketeers in this one here. Line opened up at a 150. It's now 151. So we do have a move towards the over here in this spot as well. So kind of interesting there with the line moving towards the over in this spot. Looking at the cash flow, see if it all makes sense. Where we do have 79% of tickets and 85% of the cash is on the over. So the move towards the over in that game does make sense. And then we have 55% of tickets and 57% of cash on Texas in this one here. My projection for this game is I have Xavier as about a quarter-point favorite in this game. So seeing this at 3, I got 3.5 last night. I'm on the Longhorns. In this one, I got 3.5 minus 120. I got plus 140 on the money line. So yes, I'm on another dog here in this spot. When my numbers are projected at a pick'em 0.00 and then 0.23 was my official power ranking for this. Yes, I'm going to be on both dogs. That's just the way it's going to be. When I have games projected at a pick, I will take any plus money I can, especially when we're getting a bucket. And this one here, actually a bucket and a hook. For me, 3.5 minus 120, and I got plus 145 as well. Give me the Longhorns to take care of business and advance to go on and play Illinois in the round of 64, which I think Texas could be a live underdog in that game against Illinois. So for me, I'm on the Longhorns plus the 3.5 and plus the 140. Now with Luka, Lakers only lost by 5 without him. Yeah, I also don't know how much the Nuggets cared about that one there. And now all we're doing is asking them to the Nuggets to win. So anyways, we'll move on to the NHL, where we have 2 games in the NHL, kind of maybe looking towards one play, and that's probably it. We have the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs, they're back at home now. This is their 4th straight home game. They will hit the road after this. Play the Rangers and the Predators. We have Colorado. They get to hit the road after their 4th straight win at home against the Dallas Stars in their last game in overtime, a game that really shouldn't have even gone to overtime. The Colorado Avalanche kind of massively outplayed the Stars in that game. I think the OT score is very flattering for Dallas in that spot. The question is, do we want to back Colorado in this game against the Toronto Maple Leafs? And I am invested into this Colorado Avalanche team. As you guys all know, I have them to win the East. I have them to win the Cup. And for me in this spot, it's tricky because I want to take Colorado in this game. However, do I really want them off of that win against Dallas? Because we all know that was the important game for them. It was Dallas. And now they hit the road. Could be a little bit of a letdown spot. However, that game against Dallas was on the 16th, so it's been a few days. I think the next game we'll talk about is a better betting game. This will be an awesome game to sit back and watch. This one starting at 7 o'clock tonight. It'll be a great game to watch. And maybe it might be one of those games where we kind of a where are the Maple Leafs right now type of game to measure them. So something to watch there is what do the Maple Leafs look like? They are coming in off of a nice 6-2 win over Calgary. In their next game, they get the Rangers. So could be I'm not a look at spot because obviously Colorado. Also, another thing keeping me off of Colorado in this game, the Maple Leafs just lost to this Colorado team 7-4 in Denver. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of same game revenge here in this spot. So kind of conflicting on both sides here for me, which will ultimately lead to a pass. I think I'm going to get involved with the next game with Kraken Wild. I don't think I'm getting involved with this game, though. Let's take a look. Yeah, best part of the show. Avs and leaning under seems like an obvious over. That's fair. It is a revenge spot for the Leafs. They choked the Avs the last time they faced. Yes, they did. That was a 7-4 Avalanche win. We'll move on, though. The Seattle Kraken and the Minnesota Wild. Wild are minus 160 favorites in this game, total 5.5. I totally understand the Wild being this big of favorites, so let's talk about it. Right now, we have the Wild minus 160, total 5.5. They're coming in off of a 3-1 win against the LA Kings. A very scrappy game, which was a nice little bounce back after that 5-1 loss against St. Louis. It's not like they have a look-ahead spot in this game, the Wild, because they have a few days off and they get the Sabres coming into town. So not really much to look at there. The Kraken are coming in feeling good. They won last game 6-2 last night against the Chicago Blackhawks. They have received points in 4 straight games against Montreal, Utah, Winnipeg, and Chicago. they're playing a little bit better as of late. However, saw an interesting stat here in this one. This season, Seattle, this is their 11th second half of a back-to-back. They lost to the Capitals on May the 9th. On the 23rd of February, they lost to the Lightning. They lost to Anaheim on January 28th. Red Wings on the 12th of January. The Avalanche on December 2nd. The Devils on December 6th. The Sharks on November 30th. The Rangers on November 17th. The Bruins on November the 3rd. And the Stars on October the 13th. They've been shut out in 4 of those 10 games, and they've lost by the puck line in all but 1. The only game they didn't lose by the puck line was on December the 6th. It was a 3-2 loss against the New Jersey Devils. This is wild -1 for me. This is, I think, a good spot to fade the Kraken. They're on a second half of a back-to-back, a third game in 4 nights, one of those games being an overtime game. A very satisfying win last night against the Blackhawks. This is wild -1 for me, and that'll be the only play I have in the end is wild -1. I think this is more of a fade the Kraken than back the Oilers type of, or back the Wild type of spot. And I'm getting -155 +160, so this will be a plus money -1 line here as my only play in the NHL today. Keeping it simple here in this one, it'll be the Wild -1 at plus money here, plus 102 for me to close on my card. Fade the Kraken here on the second half of situationally. This is a terrible spot for the Kraken, and this is a little bit of a desperate team now with the Minnesota Wild, who are still dealing with injuries. Don't get me wrong, this is still a team dealing with injuries. No Kaprizov, no Eriksson Ek, no Brodin. Brodin is day-to-day. He did not play in the last game. Foligno is also day-to-day now as well with an upper body injury. But I do think the Wild can get this game done. And I would lean towards maybe a Kraken team total under as well, because I want to take a look real quick. Out of all those back-to-back games, they've only scored more than 2 goals once in that, and that was the 6-4 loss against Anaheim. So maybe this is a Seattle team total under as well, and maybe we double up on this spot. I actually really like that. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to have we're only betting 1 game today, but we're doubling down on it here. Kraken team total under 2.5, -115 as well in this game. I'm going to double up on the Wild here in this spot for them to play a good defensive game and win this something along the lines of 3-1. So yes, Wild -1 +102, team total under 2.5, -115 for the Kraken here as well. Kind of like the Kraken first period and the first period under. I could definitely see an under. Yeah, I definitely could see the under in this game. I actually really like that under spot. But yes, I'm doubling up on the Wild here though in this game. Wild -1 +102, Kraken team total under 2.5 as well. Yeah, Wild have been killing me when I've taken them the last month. Fair. I feel like I've picked the right spots in Wild games. I feel like I've gotten this Wild team not completely right, but I've done pretty well with this Wild team as of late. So yeah, that's where I'm going for that game. But that is the full card for today. If you guys have not already, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. And if you guys have not already, join the bracket challenge. If you're not scared, because I know some people out there are making excuses already for not joining. I'm not going to name any names. You know who you are, who wants ESB socks instead of a t-shirt, which I don't think our merch store makes socks. But if you guys want to join the contest, the link is in the comment section. It's also in the description down below. We have 10 people in right now, and the winner gets a ESB t-shirt. It is a free contest. It's free. Positive EV, because there is nothing to lose and only something to gain. So please, 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 so we can do more stuff like this, join the bracket challenge. But that's going to do it for this one. Want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.